Troops, here we are. It's the Eagle Podcast. And tonight I've been joined by a fellow veteran and a fellow podcast host. It's the legend. It's Tommo from the Granitezero Podcast. Tommo, how are you, mucker?
I'm good, mate. Thank you very much for having me on.
Hey, Tommo, I think you're doing great work, mate. I've listened to a few of your podcasts. And the first thing I was impressed with your podcast is I love your logo design. So let's talk about all things Granitezero.
All things Granitezero. Do you know what? This is the first time I've actually genuinely been the other way around.
Yeah, like, cool.
Yeah, it's a strange experience, but it's good. But yeah, the logo. Is that what?
Let's go. Yeah, let's start with the logo.
The logo, right? So I had in my head, being an RAF regiment gunner for my sins.
Yeah.
Known as the ROCK Apes. So I wanted an ape. Basically.
Yeah.
So the best of all apes is definitely the gorilla. So I wanted a gorilla face. I always wear trucker hats, or I tend to wear them. So I wanted him wearing a camo trucker hat. Because it's a podcast, I wanted the headphones on as well.
Yeah.
So basically that's how it started. And what I did was I got in contact with, I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but he does all the artwork design for the Fighter and the Kid podcast in America.
Oh, wow. Amazing.
So I literally, like I've done with all my guests as well, pot luck, I sent him an email and went, look, I'm trying to do this. I can't draw for shit.
Yeah.
Could you give me a little bit of an idea of what I could do? And he went, yeah, no problem. And I was like, I'm a veteran as well, so is there any chance of a discount? And he was like, yeah, definitely, I'll do it for free for you, no problem.
Wow.
I was like, yeah, cheers, mate. And then literally he was like every week he was like, oh, bear with me, I'm going to get round to it. I'll get round to it. I was like, there's no dramas.
Yeah.
I'm like that with everything at the minute. I'm like, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden an email popped out of nowhere, and it was the original one that he sent without all the colours and that. And I was like, fucking, that's brilliant. Then he was like, what colours do you want? And I was like, well, obviously I want black and green for style background. And then he popped up with that logo, and I was like, this is brilliant. And he was like, oh, I could change it if you want. I was like, nah, just keep it as it is. Because the original logo I sort of stole from the internet.
Right.
It was one of those ones, I want a gorilla face. Boom. But yeah, this one, I was so chuffed with it. In fact, he's behind me. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, that's... it's class, mate. Honestly, like that was the first thing I saw of yours, and I was like, "That's a really boss fucking logo." It's eye catching, and then obviously the Granitezero, was that your Afghan call sign?
That on my last tour, I was a comms geek.
Right.
So I was stuck in the HQ. Basically, their words, they wanted to keep me safe because it was my last tour, and I'd put my papers in. What happened was I said, look, I've put my papers in. It's a joint decision between me and my missus. Yeah. My last tour, but I will do the tour for you because you haven't got any other decent signallers, he says. So Granitezero was my call sign. Well, my call sign with the HQ's call sign. And that was basically me. I dealt with every major incident of that tour that we had came through while I was in the hot seat, which was a pain in the ass. What
tour was that, mate? Herrick what?
That was Herrick. I want to say Herrick was it 30? 15? I'll tell you. Hold on.
He's got his medals.
I've got my medals behind me, but it's in my little fucking little bookie book.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It's cool that you've got all this memorabilia. I was just looking there. You've got some good stuff, haven't you, hanging up there?
Oh, I've got some decent stuff. I'll talk you through some of it in a sec.
Yeah, we'll have a chat because I'm just sort of eyeballing a few bits and pieces.
Was it any other one? These are my tour diaries.
Look, mate, it's all right. You know, Herrick was Herrick. I'm just sort of trying to. It would have
been Herrick 17.
Right. Cool.
Yeah, because Herrick 13 was when I went to CAF. So,
right.
17. Yeah.
Nice one. Because it's quite an unusual call sign, isn't it? Like I remember, sort of like some of the call signs out there were fairly alley, but I think Granitezero is a fairly alley call sign.
The regiment have two.
Okay.
For some reason, we tend to go with Granite because obviously it's a hard rock, so they go with Granite. Or the other one is Centurion. So when we're doing our handover, one will be Centurion and the other one will be Granite, so we don't get confused.
So you
sort of swapped over. We swapped over after the famous Battle of Bastion.
Yeah,
that was the squadron before us. That was quite
RAF
funny.
12. Yeah. So you talked about it. You were in the RAF and the RAF Regs. Like, obviously, I'm aware of the RAF Reg, but people listening. Look, man. I don't ditch. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't ditch on anyone's cap badge or anything like that.
Just roll with the banter personally.
Because talk us through why you chose the RAF and the RAF Reg in particular.
Well, the RAF has always been in my family. Basically, my granddad was a aircraft technician during World War II. He's actually pretty alley. I'll show you his little fucking chest mounts.
Oh wow, he's stacked.
Yeah, mate. He's got a British Embassy medal. He got. I think they decommissioned them now. I think.
Fucking hell.
Nobody in the family knows how he got it, but when I was reading up on it, he had to have done some sort of act of valor to get it.
Yeah.
We believe that while he was in Belize, he was fixing a helicopter under contact, I believe.
Wow.
But when me and my old man were going through it, his medals, he's got another one, a World War II Valor medal as well. But again, we speak to my nan, and she's like, "What do you get that for?" She's like, "I don't know." It's like, brilliant, cheers. But yeah, my granddad did 35 years, I believe.
Yeah.
My dad did 22 years as a PTI. In fact, he was the lead instructor for lead parachute jumping instructor in the country.
Wow.
So they sent him to Hereford, which is where I'm from.
Right, okay.
Yeah, he was attached to the Alley Boys. And I always wanted to follow in the footsteps, whether it was joining the military, but I was definitely always wanted to be in the Air Force. Originally, I wanted to be a PTI. I did all my badges and all my qualifications before I joined up. Got there, and me being me, I failed the aptitude test. Of course, I did.
Right.
Twice, and I was like, well, I can't be asked to do it again. I'm pretty sure you could at those times you couldn't do it again. I'm pretty sure you could only do it twice.
Yeah.
So they gave me this list. Funny enough, it was only a mark that I failed it by. I got 56, and you needed 57 to be a PTI.
Right.
So basically, what they gave me this list of all these jobs I could do, all trades, MT, fucking dental assistant, fucking list goes on and on.
Yeah.
At the bottom is RAF Regiment Gunner in like big bold letters. I was like, what's that one then? And they were like, oh, you don't want to do that. But this is the bloke in the afro. Like, I was like, me being me again. Yeah, but what is it though? Here's a DVD of it.
Class.
And to be fair, the Air Force, when it comes to certain things, they do produce some good top quality stuff. So I was watching that and I was like, I want to do that. I want to do that. That's fucking brilliant. And for me as well, I was speaking to my dad. It was the next physically demanding job in the Air Force. And if I wanted to, I could transfer over to become a PTI. That was the goal. But yeah, my old man was telling me to get a trade instead as well, which is quite funny.
Do you know, man? I kind of don't feel like that's great advice. Like, and you're not the first person that said that to me. But this whole thing of get a trade in the military is bullshit, because I don't know anyone who's left the military and is now still doing the trade that they joined the military to do. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I know loads of engineers, mate, who got out with plant licenses, and it doesn't move over. So there's no point. You might as well get out and fucking start your own podcast. Do you know what I mean? Like,
exactly, mate.
I'll do whatever you want to do. So talk us through that then, Tommo, right? Because I know I know nothing about sort of RAF selection process, training.
Fair,
talk us through that.
The funny thing is, right, with the regiment, we are our own entity, really.
Yeah.
Because the army hate us because we're infantry. Thomas.
Yeah.
The Air Force hate us because we're infantry.
Yeah.
The Navy just hate everyone, I feel. So basically, we're sort of shunned to one camp, which is RAF Honington, which is our main base, where the rest of the Air Force, they go off to Halton and do their 8 weeks basics, and then they go off and do their trade, where we do all ours in-house at the regiment depot. Yeah. So basically, we start off, we do our first 8 weeks. Yeah. I think it's 8 weeks. When we finish that, this is all changed now, but when I did it,
when you were going through, yeah,
we did the first 8 weeks, and then we got, then we did bayonet training, which was our first stage of passing out into the Air Force / getting ready to do the regiment gunner phase, which is the infantry phase. So we did the 8 weeks, then we ended up doing the rest of the 21 weeks of soldiering. Yeah. Then we did a further, I want to say 6 weeks, but that could be wrong. That's when we did the last, inverted commas again, hard course. The famous 5 mile of death.
Well, I want to talk about the 5 mile of death.
We'll talk about that in a second. So we do our last 6 weeks is basically advanced training,
trade skills within.
Yeah, all the bigger weapon systems and whatever.
I mean, not taking anything away from my only sort of dealings with the RAF regiment was on Herrick and was in Camp Bastion and was in Camp Security. Now we can say whatever we want, but to sleep at night, you need people staggering on a camp. That's just how it is,
that's another little common misconception with the RAF Reg itself, because in Bastion, we did monitor most of the towers, but the squadron itself was quite big. So what they'll do, they'll have a flight or a platoon doing the towers, and another two will be out doing what we call a tesseral patrol, which where we go outside of the wire, which a lot of people go, "What? You fucking don't." We do. We go out and make sure the tesseral footprint is clear. Basically, what that is to make sure the aircrafts can land and take off safely without being shot out of the air. We actually do that very well. Little things we get shit for, like the Battle of Bastion. Why did they get so close? So then, how did they get the fence and things? I'd love to shed light on it, but I wasn't there, so I can't really. That squadron, you know.
I'll tell you why. Because the Taliban were a fucking extremely motivated, driven enemy. That's the answer. They're the hardest blokes I've ever fought, and I'm from the northeast. Do you know what I mean? Like that's. But no, look, we weren't fighting idiots. We were fighting a highly motivated, skilled enemy.
In their own backyard as well.
In their own backyard, like however you want to take it. And then there was always talk of foreign fighters, Chechens, ex-IRA people training. Do you know what I mean? There's always that chatter about there's foreign fighters in country training these people. And let's make no mistakes about it. The British Army and the British Empire have a lot of enemies. Do you know what I mean? A lot of them pretend to be our friends, but they're not.
We can pretty much assume that we are the most hated nation in the world.
So that's how they got so close, mate. It wasn't anyone's downfall, anyone's doing. It was the fact that the Taliban are actually fairly fucking switched on and actually a really motivated enemy that had figured out. And let's not forget, Bastion as a camp its footprint was absolutely fucking massive. Do you know what I mean? Like it was massive. So
I'm a little bit limited on Bastion itself because I was basically in the HQ, so I literally went from our lines to fucking siege and and living in a fucking, basically like this, living in a shed for
yeah, well, mate, everyone had a role to play. So, you know,
don't get me wrong. I actually thoroughly enjoyed doing the role I did. I was a bit gutted because I put in to go to TAC P a number of times because I blown my own horn. Yeah, I was a fucking decent signaller. I was fucking pretty shit hot. I got asked by a number of the air desk while I was out there to go and join them, take my papers out and things like that. And I was like, nah, I've sort of made up my mind here now, which is a bit annoying because I actually wanted to do that.
That'll bring us on nicely, Tommo, right? So I left the forces because of Afghan, because of constantly, like, I think if I'd have stayed in, I would have done 4 Afghans on pretty much year on, year off.
Yeah.
But I did 2 and sort of didn't fancy the 3rd one because I didn't feel like it was a place you could just keep on going back to mentally or physically and keep coming back with awesome stories in LSA days. Do you know what I mean? I didn't feel like that was a part of the plan. So you decided to leave. How have you found the transition from leaving to civilian?
It was difficult. However, I didn't think in myself, I didn't think I was transitioning any worse than anyone else. In my head, I was like, no, I'm fine with this. What are you on about? So it was about five years ago that I left. About 5 years ago, I'd say. So 6 years, actually. So it means 6 years. In that time, I've had 4, 5 jobs.
Okay.
But in my head, I was like, oh, I'm fine with this. I found that I was getting into a job, getting restless, putting my papers in, doing another job, getting restless, doing the same thing. My missus was like, something's not right. I was like, what do you mean? When you're not settling, why aren't you settling? And we found that when I actually eventually sat down and spoke about it, which was just before I had a bit of a breakdown, I lost that sense of purpose. But I think a lot of soldiers, gunners, airmen, sailors, they when they wore the uniform, they had something. Mm-hmm. Like I was always, Tommo the gunner. Fucking, my cat does this every fucking.
Contact front.
Yeah, she jumps onto the shed, and I'm like, fucking what? But yeah, so I lost that sense of purpose, and I couldn't find it. And I was like, and every time I talked to my missus, she'd say something. I'm like, I'm fucking useless. I can't do anything. I've got no skills. She's like, you haven't got skills. I was like, what? When I left, I did a CP course. Well, I'm not even using it. Like little things like that, and I was like, about it.
Do you know what, Tom? I've and I'll do it again. I've thrown the resettlement process under the bus quite a few times on my podcast, and I feel like it's great in principle, but it's delivered really poorly because
I agree, mate. I agree.
And what I mean by that is you went to the resettlement guy and said, right, I want to do CP, and instead of someone from the civilian sector sitting you down and saying, look, Tommo, mate, it ain't going to happen, kid. Not because you're not a good soldier or you're not a good whatever. It's because the sheer volume of Marines and paras and top-notch infanteers who are leaving the service, and it's jobs for the boys. Do you know what I mean? They're all...
I fully know exactly what that's like. Basically, I did it because I thought, I'll get that done. I've got a good qualification. I can get into security work, blah, 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 blah. And luckily for me, and even today, I still have an in with that. I've got two very close mates that are doing CP work. I won't put their name out here.
Yeah.
But also, my old man is he does residential security at the minute for a high-powered person.
Right.
So I've had a few phone calls from the top guy at his firm that's like, Tommo, do you want to come and join your old man? I'm like, I would, but I kind of need that security within the job, as in I can't keep going off for 3 or 4 weeks at a time and then coming back. And I was like, that's not why I left the Air Force. I left the Air Force because I wanted to spend time at home.
And do you think that's another thing where with this real settlement process, someone should have said to you, look, you're pretty much leaving and you want to do CP and you'll never be at home, mate. You've got to chase the money. Like, I've had a few guys on here who've done CP work and everything they say is always, there's no security in security. And I don't really, you know, it was never my dream to go and do that. But I feel like there's a lot of guys like you, and I'll use you as an example, who have been sold this dream of silly pop star money, and everyone can go and chase it. And I feel like the security companies, like the training providers, they've clicked onto this great idea. Oh, we can get this money from the MOD. We'll train lads up. And they could probably just look at a group. They could probably just look at your CV, or you look at your military record and just go, "He's got no chance of getting a CP." Yeah, he's got a chance. Do you know what I mean? Like, depend on where you're coming from. So you talked about, and your story, mate, sounds a lot like mine. Banging through job after job. Were you sort of?
I did. I settled on a job for coming up. It was coming up to my 2-year point when they started being dickheads.
Right.
Funnily enough, you should say, I did actually use some of my CP qualification to get this job. Basically, my BTEC in close protection has surveillance training in it. Right. So I got trained as a surveillance operator. I worked as part of the Cotswold group. I was doing surveillance against insurance frauds. So people that take injuries and then claim, I'd go out and spy them basically for 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day. And I can't lie, it was one of the best jobs I've ever done until. So basically, my area was London and the South East, which is where I am. I'm in Kent. So
land of England.
Yeah. They basically started slowly drifting me. So then I was like Midlands sort of area, and then it started going southeast, and I was like, you guys are starting to take the piss now. I went, and then it started going Manchester, York, things like that. I was like, I can't keep, because basically they thought they had me because I wouldn't work Mondays and Tuesdays. My missus works Mondays and Tuesdays, so I said, if I do every weekend, which I didn't mind doing, I was doing it in my previous job. But I'll do every weekend if I can have those 2 days so my missus can go to work, I can have the kids. Yeah, no problem, Tommo, no problem. Then it would be Friday, you'd get your list of job sheets for the next day. You'd get your email in and you're like, fucking hell, I'm in Birmingham. Why am I there? I'm supposed to be done. Oh, there's nobody in the South East that will work with you. I'll work on my own. Do you know? Yeah. I want to go home. So then I'd have to go up Friday night, get in a hotel, or go up Saturday morning and then stay over because it was a 2-day job and things like that. It was just a fucking ball ache. And then it was like, have that chat with the missus.
Time to move on.
And they wouldn't change either. They wouldn't change it, which was a pain.
There must have been a lot of military guys. It sounds like something that would be military heavy as well, like the people in the structure.
Yeah, well, it was. We had a open day sort of thing to say thank you to the operatives, and they were like, we can show you now our CV list. And it was basically they had 3,000 CVs come through, and they're like, if you don't have police or military background, your CV will go in the bin. Yeah. And then if you don't answer their specific questions in the interview, you're basically not going to go in. It's like, so yeah, pretty much everybody I worked with was military background, to be fair. A couple of ex-cops.
And did you find yourself clashing with people in authority? Did you find yourself having, you felt that you were I don't want to say angry, but frustrated. Maybe it's a bit frustrated in yourself. I sort of a year and a half after being out of the service, realised that at the time I'd made a mistake of leaving the service.
Yeah. Mine
was only until
job.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine came in my first job, which was basically my missus' old man got me a job. He's one of the general managers of a massive Waitrose distribution centre. Right. He went, look, we're getting you on your feet, get a job, you work here, use your security license, you can work in the security. I was like, ah, fucking spot on. 12-hour shifts, I can do that, nights and days. Then I found out that the security manager and his deputy came from, one was a former jeweler, and the other one worked in the chill warehouse or something. I was like, well, what do the chimps know about security? And they were like, well, what do you know? And I went, well, I did force protection for 5.5 years. I'm pretty sure I know security. And they were like, well, we'll do it this way. I basically changed their entire patrolling makeup that they did, how they should train each security officer, did all that. And then they started taking my ideas and using it as their own, which started to piss me off. And then basically I lost all all sense of authority, which isn't very good when your father-in-law is the general manager. Yeah,
no, it's that's fair enough. And how would you say, are you settled now? Are you happy enough now?
I'm settled now. I still have a few clashes with my manager, but that's only because we're quite similar. He's not military background, but he's got a very similar sort of mindset to me. So we sort of clash from time to time. But other than that, I've actually finally settled. I don't know if it's the job itself or if it's because I've now got my little baby, my podcast, my outlet.
Yeah,
so
you feel like that'll take us like sort of semi back full circle to where we started. So the podcast for you, do you feel like you've started your own little crew, like your own little gang, and you can feel like you're doing something again?
I genuinely do. I feel like I have my own little following at the minute. It's cool. Slowly getting bigger.
Cool.
Which, to be fair, I've said it to my brother. I've said it to everyone. It's not the reason why I started it. I didn't start it to become the next fucking Joe Rogan, because that's impossible. He's already a fucking millionaire when he started it.
Yeah.
I started it so that I could get myself talking about whether it's problems or whatever's going on in my head. That little outlet to get it out. Otherwise, I'm a bottler. I'll bottle it all up, and then just go the old saying of "I'm fine," and it's like, well, you're not fine. I can tell. Written all over your dickhead.
Yeah, and no, it's great, mate. Like I said, I've listened to a few of your podcasts, and I follow you on Instagram, and we both support each other, and it's great that the veteran community is great, and there's a load of great veteran brands, and as I'm sat here looking at you in your battle shed, you're wearing Dead Mammoth coffee, is it, that you're wearing?
I am, yeah, indeed.
So what sort of brands do you like what sort of veteran brands do you like? And, shout out your favourite brands.
You got to shout out Red Coat to start with.
Yeah.
Wearing his hat as we speak. We've been in a few comms as well. He said he's going to come on the show. He's been on yours, hasn't he?
Yeah, Alex Smith's been on. Yeah, Alex is a top guy. Yeah, get Alex on.
We're going to get him into comms and get him on the zero.
Cool.
Combat Fuel, obviously, is the big one. Not only do they support fucking veteran causes, they give to charity as well, which I think is brilliant.
Yeah.
Obviously, Dead Mammoth. And this is no word of it. I started out helping out 50 Cal Coffee.
Yeah, Rob Dennison, top lad. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the old Dead Mammoth sent me some of their fucking coffee pouches, and I went, oh, this is next level shit.
Yeah.
Modern Warrior. I've got to shout that guy out. Those guys.
Right. Okay. What do
they
do?
They do fitness apparel.
Okay. Right.
Yeah. Another mate of mine does CQB apparel as well.
Oh, nice.
He's another RAF Reg gunner.
Cool.
Trying to see what else I've got here. Nah, to be fair, I'll Veteran Trees. He's done me a little sign, hasn't he? The legend.
Oh, Dan.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a top guy. I don't know if you can see it, but in the back there, that's I've got a crest, like a crest of arms.
Yeah. Fucking brilliant.
Yeah, I've known him for a bit of a time actually now. But he's a great guy, mate. He truly is a great guy.
Yeah, he just randomly once. Mr. Story is hilarious. So I was just sat messing about on my phone on old Instagram, and then fucking call comes through. And he's like, Tommo. I was like, yeah. It's not like I've never
yeah.
before. He's like, Tommo, I'm gonna do you a piece of artwork. I was like, all right. And he was like, yeah, it's you can either have it yourself or you can auction it off for your
Nice.
Supposed to have my charity football match coming up, but obviously
yeah, I've seen that, mate. Yeah, big smash.
That might get pushed back a little bit, but anyway, yeah. So he ended up. He was like, which logo do you want? I was like, well, I think the new one. I don't think that would have gone down as well on the wood. So we went for the retro Granitezero logo.
Nice.
Obviously, HR4K as well. They're fucking brilliant.
Yeah, I don't know anyone from that circle, and I feel like you follow who you follow and you support who you support. I mean, like I mean they're from Hereford, aren't they? So maybe that's where your tie-in comes from.
I also serve. There's a guy that's part of the HR4K London scene. I can't. It's going Dave Meyer. His name is. That's his fucking name.
Okay, fair enough.
Before I forget, yeah, he's part of the HR4K London. I served with him on 15 Squadron. So,
cool.
He basically he was with the regiment for a number of years, and then he went to the Para Reserves when he came out.
Okay.
And I think he plays on the Para Reserves more than he does his regiment. You know?
Well, yeah, fair play, mate. You bang the tune that gets you the most players, mate. Do you know what I mean? If that's a dance. Tommo, mate, it's been cracking to speak to you. And as we sort of come into the close down of the show, I always end my shows with the 5 watts. Now, a lot of people know that I've changed them for the COVID-19. So the first one, Mucker, is what does your day look like?
Well, to be fair, mate, my day hasn't really changed.
Cool.
I'm classed because I do security for the area of Kings Hill. They've got a cancer ward and things like that there.
Right.
So I have to go in and make sure it's unlocked and what have you. So my day to day really, my routine really hasn't changed as much. However, when I'm off and I've got my little monsters in the house, all hands on deck, mate. I'm a teacher. Fucking PE teacher, science teacher. we take about. I've got a nice little walk out the back of the house. That's a nice open field. It's nice, so we take them out for walks. Try and get them to do as much as we can, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, my day, as boring as it sounds, hasn't really fucking changed.
Hey, that's fair. That's a fair shout, mate. What workouts are you doing, mate? This has to be either mental or physical.
Basically, I stick to. I like to do circuits where they're sort of CrossFit based, I guess, but without the gay bullshit.
Right.
I like to use kettles. I got what I call Big Bertha, which is my 224s that I've got. I like to swing them about a bit. I do the odd run. I'm not really built for running.
Yeah.
I'm more built for fucking loading me up with a burger and sending me off for a walk. But when the weather's nice as well, I go out on the old the road bike as well which is quite handy. When I go to work, usually at the minute it's slightly different because Mrs. isn't at work, so I've got the car. We've only got one car.
Yeah.
But when she's at work, I take my bike to work, which is about 7 miles or so. So it's a nice ride to work and back, which isn't too bad.
Fair shout, mate. What have you started? Have you started anything new?
I have, mate.
Nice.
We sort of briefly touched on it a little bit about my tour diaries earlier.
Yeah.
Basically, I've started to jot down my memoirs, basically.
Nice.
Of my time growing up until I joined up. I eventually will get on to doing my 3 tours that I did. And then basically the lead up to becoming Granitezero.
Nice.
That is my goal at the minute.
Mega. It's good, man. It's good to start something new.
Yeah, I had my boy. Welcome back to the dark side.
Chris Michaels.
Yeah, he popped up and was like, we were talking about it. He said if I need any help or any guidance with it, give him a buzz, which I probably will do.
Yeah, Chris a nice guy. Get him on your podcast. Has he been on already? I feel like he's been on already.
He hasn't been on yet.
He came on mine. He's a good lad.
I'm going to surprise him and ask him.
He'll do it. He'll do it, man. He'll be on it. What have you stopped?
What have I stopped? Nothing, really.
No?
No. I don't really have any, like, that bad habits. Yeah, I'm sat here drinking the odd beer, but I don't go into extent or anything. Yeah. I'm fucking boring at this, me.
That's all right, man.
No,
what about going out with the family and stuff like that? Like, anywhere you used to go, you used to enjoy taking the family?
Yeah, we do. To be fair, because we live Kent, we like to take the kids out, and we all go down to Hastings and
nice
and Dover. Yeah, Dover. I always get Devon and Dover mixed up because I'm a mong. Obviously, the Dover coast is nice, and Margate and things like that. So we do like to take the girls out. And unfortunately, it's a fucking pain in the ass because they get itchy feet. They want to go out. Yeah. And I can guarantee when the fucking lockdown eventually finishes and we're like, oh, do you want to go somewhere? They're going to be like, nah. Like, pain in a little, you fucking... Yeah. My kids have got my personality and it's so annoying because it's like I'm two small versions of myself.
Yeah, it's fair enough, mate. So I have to slightly change this question. So originally it is, what's the first thing you're going to do? But now it's what's the second thing you're going to do after lockdown finishes?
It's going to have to go to the pub or it's going to be meeting up because I'm quite lucky. So basically, two or three, definitely two. Two of my best mates actually live down the road from me. There's another one, he lives a bit further out. But yeah, so my close buddy Chris Dunn and Dan Shipper, they literally live down the road from me. Both served on 15 Squadron. Both went to Iraq and Afghanistan together as well. Right. We ended up making our own five-a-side football team for a while until my fucking knees decided to go, oh, no, you're a 50-year-old man, not 30. Yeah. So you're definitely going out, meeting up with the lads and going out for a few beers and having a decent chat. It's one thing having like your Zoom calls over the phone with each other, but another one actually sipping a beer and that. Yeah, a nice barbecue or something.
Yeah, fair play, Tommo. It's been great putting a face next to the old logo, mate, and having a bit of a chat to you.
It looks very similar to me.
Yeah, well, I wasn't going to say anything. Tommo, where can people find you, mate? And tell them where they can find the podcast and all that good jazz.
You can find me on all platforms. They're all slightly different, I believe. So Instagram is the main one that I tend to use most. That is at Granitezero Pod. Yeah. Twitter is just at Granitezero. And Facebook is at Granitezero, but the O is an actual zero.
Right, okay.
Because I'm cool.
Yeah, because you're edgy. Cool. Tommo, mate. Thanks very much for coming on the show, mate. I enjoy your podcast and I enjoy supporting fellow veterans in their endeavours. I feel like if we all sort of stick together and work together, we can all achieve what we want to achieve and 100%. Be an outlet for anyone trying to get the story out there. And thanks very much for your time, mate. Stay safe and I'll catch you soon. All right. Cheers, Mucker. Cheers, Tommo. Bye-bye. Bye.